What's going on, guys? Car review guys here. My name is AJ, and this week we have the 2025 Mazda CX70. This is the plug-in hybrid premium plus. This is going to be the full review. If you are new to my channel, we do the review. Next video will be 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. Now, if you are not familiar with the format, I am going to start with the cinematic, usually 60 seconds or less. Then we're going to go over the exterior with stats, figures, stuff I feel like you guys would want to know. Then we are going to be jumping onto the interior, and then we'll be taking it on a drive. So feel free to skip through if you would like. Over 22,000 subscribers. Thank each and every one of you. As I'm being blinded, let's go ahead and get right on into this full review. Let's roll. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that cinematic. Alrighty, let's start with some of the stats and figures here. This CX70 plug-in hybrid premium plus is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder pushing 323 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That is combined with the hybrid system. Transmission is an 8-speed auto. Drivetrain is all-wheel drive. Curb weight is coming in at around 5,198 pounds, which is going to be pushing it from 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. Max towing, 3,500 pounds. MPG, 23 city, 28 highway, and a combined average of around 25 MPGs. Gas tank size is 18.5 gallons. Battery size is 14.8 kilowatt hours with roughly a 26-mile range. Touching on vehicle dimensions, we are right at about 16.7 feet. The width is around 7 feet, and your ground clearance is about 8.1 inches. Pricing is obviously important. Pricing is going to start at about $54,400, and that is on the base plug-in hybrid premium. And today's tester is around $59,420, including the destination charge. Taking a look here in the rear, in order to pop it, you just simply go right underneath the Mazda emblem, press, and up it will go. Now, let's take a look here in the rear. We can simply pull this up if you would like to look. You can see the cable there, and then some different items for roadside. And then let's see, you've got a couple of different charger options. You can see that there are still cup holders in this because it is basically the exact same platform as the CX90, just no third row in this. You can control the seats over here. Again, another charger. I will put the actual cubic feet here on the screen. Before I jump on into the interior, just taking a look just how wide this door opens. It literally is almost 90 degrees. Like, I mean, it is super close to being 90 degrees. So if you need a super wide door for the rear, obviously this is an option for you. Now, you've got over here a sunshade, which can go up and down. Nice little bezel there on the window switch, and then this is all soft for your elbow. This is also soft, and this is like a rubberized material up here. I test getting every single vehicle, so let's take a gander as to whether this is easy or not. Kind of sit on the edge and then sit in here. Now, someone's got this leaned way forward, so let's see if we can't. Oh, that's so much better. So Goes without saying, yes, you can obviously change it. You can take a look right there. This is how it was sitting, and now we're sitting back. While we are here, this pulls down. You've got 2 cup holders located right there. Out in front of us, we have a seat back pocket on both seats. And then down here, you have your own temperature control. You have heated seats as well, and 2 USB-Cs along with your own vents. Up above us, it is closed at the moment, but it is a full panoramic roof. Before we get into the front, I did want to point out it does have keyless entry there on the front door. It is not located on the rear. And then taking a look up at the driver's side door, you can see very similar to the rear. And then it does have power folding mirrors, all of your adjustments, and then same thing, soft touch, and then like a rubberized material. To the left of the steering wheel, you do have your memory seating located right in there. And then also before we get in, you can see you have your automatic high beams located right on the end of the stalk. All right, let's test the front, whether it's easy or not. I find the front to be just a little bit easier personally than the rear, just because back there you have almost like a little bit like stadium type seating. So to me, this is just a little bit easier here in the front, but either way, it is definitely easy. Nice wide door openings, as I already showed you. Now that we are in, just taking a look here, we have heated seats. Heated steering wheel, heated seat, cooled seat, obviously the same for passenger. Now for me, I'm going to turn that on right now because it actually is quite warm. That sun is cooking here this morning. Dual zone in the front, but obviously the vehicle is tri-zone, as you saw just a second ago for the rear. Wireless charger down here. This is your mode selector. So if you were to select that, you can see there is, well, if I can get rid of the glare, sorry. You have sport, you have normal, and then EV. You can see it's grayed out right now because over there on the far right, there is none available. And then also there is off-road, which I'm going to be honest, I don't know how many people are taking this off-road, but there is an option. As far as controlling the screen, the touch screen, that is not a thing. Now, I didn't connect it. Apparently, same with any other Mazda, you can use it as a touchscreen if you connect Android and or Apple CarPlay. I personally don't like that. It's not my thing, so I just use this. I do wish eventually Mazda would allow touchscreen, just normal, when in park. I understand the safety thing behind it whenever driving, but whenever in park, I definitely think it should be a touchscreen. Nonetheless, pretty standard for Mazda. Use the little dial here. You can select, and we can go through whatever you would like, station list, whatever, and then we can click the navigation button so that way you can see what it looks like as well. And then while we are here on this topic, let's go ahead and put it into reverse. And you can see it does have a full 360 camera as well. Out in front of us, we have the full digital display, as you probably already noticed. And then taking a look at the steering wheel over here on the left-hand side, all of your different media type options. Over on the right is cruise control settings. You do have lane centering, and you do have adaptive cruise control as well. This is the standard mirror. However, you can get this with a digital rear view mirror. That is an option. My tester doesn't have it, but you can get that. Up above, you have a sunglasses holder. And I think that's pretty much it, honestly. We can open this up. It is very thin. There's not a lot of space in there, but you can fit probably a tissue box or so. And then taking a look at the seat, you can see it's got one little strip down the middle, and then other than that, it is black. They are pretty comfortable, though. I have enjoyed my time in these seats. Last button that I did forget to mention is over here, and what that will do, if you press that, it will essentially raise your RPMs ever so slightly, and then it will charge your battery up. So it's a little bit more aggressive charging, so you can press that if you would like to charge the battery. I think that's pretty much covering everything on the interior. I guess last point, there is heads-up display. Hopefully you can see it out there. There's kind of another vehicle in my way, but nonetheless, it's like right there. That is actually pretty much everything on the interior. I say we get this out on the road and see how it performs. All right, as we get this out on the road, we're gonna try a new angle today. See if you guys like it. Usually it's always more towards me. So let's see if you guys like this angle. Maybe it's no good, just comment down below. And I might eventually start running 2 cameras. I have the ability now. We have a new mic set up, new cameras. Today I'm recording with the DJI Action 4, but I ordered the 5 and I actually have it at home. I just haven't set it up yet. If you guys don't know, I work a full-time job. So this is all on the side. So I basically have my weekends essentially to do this. And then the evenings I edit and stuff like that. So enough of that. But now that we get this out on the road, I've had this for several days now, had some time to get behind the wheel. And for me, it does feel very, very at home to the CX90. If you have spent some time with the CX90, then you would definitely kind of feel what this is like. Now, I think this might be refined a little bit, for sure, but it still is a very raw experience. And what I mean by that is the steering, it's heavier, right? So like you go to pull on the wheel and it is a heavier feel. And then the other thing is you can hear more of the things. Like you can hear the tire noise a little bit. It's not bad, but you can hear it. So when you have Mazda's approach of a driver's vehicle, I definitely think that is true, for sure. If you're new to my channel, I've got 3 different categories for noise. I've got tire noise, I have powertrain noise, and then I also have wind noise. Wind noise is pretty refined in this, but let's hear the powertrain. Hold on. See how it kind of like jerks and jumps just a little bit? It does that every once in a while if you're in normal, and it's almost like the transmission can't figure out what gear it wants to go in. Now, I have figured out a solution to that. Just throw it in sport. If you leave it in sport, honestly, the tuning that it uses for that is so much better. It's so much smoother. Like, look at that. Like, no jumping, it just goes. Like, even from a start and a standstill, it goes. But the point behind all of that is the sound. You could probably hear it just a little bit, maybe. I'm not sure if the mic is going to pick it up. I have, again, new mic, and I'm testing out the settings. The last video I did, it was all blown out. I adjusted the gain down. Hopefully it's not too far, so we're still kind of refining it. We're always trying to improve on this channel. All right, let's step on it in sport. Let's just see how the all-wheel drive does. Here we go. Oh. All right, I didn't expect that. That was actually really good. That's the first time, that's a raw reaction. It's the first time that I did it. Punching it around a turn, that's the first time this thing has really felt alive. And the all-wheel drive is really good. It really held traction. That is actually impressive. So 0 to 60 is roughly 6 seconds. Some have recorded like a 5.7, others say like a 6.4. I'd say kind of in the middle, it's really like the 6 seconds. Got a little sidetracked on our noise comparisons and stuff, but circling back really quick, powertrain you can definitely hear, as you probably heard it right there. Once you're at a cruise, not bad. Wind noise, I already talked about it, really refined. All these cars going by, you can't even hear them. Let's go over the cattle guard and let's see how it does with the suspension at 45 miles an hour. Here we go. Didn't move bad, actually pretty good as far as absorbing. I found with this suspension, it absorbs a little bit better when it comes to higher speeds, meaning like 45 miles an hour and up. In a driveway or just slow type bumps, it doesn't absorb quite as well. You kind of rocks you back and forth and stuff. But I mean, it's all acceptable. Just some of the things that I've kind of found. We just set our cruise, and it does have lane centering and adaptive cruise control, and the lane centering is pretty good. It is improved for Mazda. I think they still have a little tuning to do, but it is pretty good. Like, I mean, relatively, if we set it here, we'll set it, okay, and I can take my hands off the wheel. Now, again, doing this for testing purposes, hands are near it, don't take your hands off the wheel, blah, blah, blah. You guys know the safety stuff. But we have a little kind of little gesture here, kind of goes to the right. You can see the wheel turning. It does quite well, honestly. There's just little tiny moments where lane split, stuff like that, maybe it can't detect. And there are some other OEMs that can detect it, but it's not bad and it's way more than acceptable, and it has come a long ways. Adaptive cruise control, fine, no issues as far as that goes. Let's check the blind spots here. Over to my left, the pillar is not bad at all. I don't see much issue with that. Over to our right, maybe a little bit where the rear seat is, but again, not bad. But of course, it is equipped with blind spot monitoring if you need it. Let's take this turn at 20 here if we can. We can't. Even still, accelerating in just a little bit. Honestly though, the one thing I will, and again, driver's experience, right? It has all the luxury amenities, but the way that it drives, it is not, to me, luxurious. You have luxury features, but it doesn't drive luxury. And it does definitely more so drive, in my opinion, like a driver's SUV. Like the steering is heavier, even in normal, it's heavier. Now, if you go to sport, which it'll kick you out of sport once you set your cruise and everything, by the way. But once it's in sport, again, it's still a heavier, and even in normal, doesn't matter, still heavier steering. And you can feel it, just feels a little more raw all the way around. So if that's something you're looking for, but still have all the features, this is probably something I would definitely check out. And the interiors on Mazdas, I love the way Mazda's done interiors. For a long time, I think they've done great. I actually used to own a 2009 Mazda 6 way back in the day. It was the S Grand Touring, fully loaded. Had that car in college, and I loved it. I really did like my time with that car. Actually, one of the longest I've ever owned a car. I owned that car for like 2.5, maybe 3 years. If you guys are new to my channel, I get new cars all the time. Now, this obviously being a press car, I get a new press car every week, but I mean my own personal stuff, I get a new car 2-3 times a year, somewhere in there. So I really loved my time with my Mazda. And again, this is definitely a more driver's SUV. And even with the suspension coming around a turn, you can feel it. It actually, for this size of SUV, handles quite nicely. We have just a little S turn up here. Let's put this thing in sport. Okay, there we go. Let's test the braking here, hold on. I mean, for this size, that's really good. Now, let's test this out coming into a turn. 40 miles an hour around the turn, coming in, brake hard. Again, this is definitely a driver's SUV. Like, I feel like I could carve some canyons in this, and this is no light SUV, right? This is over 5,000 pounds. So to get that kind of feeling, that's where this thing excels, and it will beat most of its competitors out there. So it just depends on what you personally are looking for. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Next video, 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. Again, let me know on this angle, whether you like this or whether you don't. Maybe we'll eventually run 2 cameras. It is more time consuming. And again, this is not a full-time thing for me. This is still part-time as we are still growing. Over 22,000 subscribers. But as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.